running. So, just to let you know that tonight's meeting has been audio recorded by the Parish Council, and I believe Sean's got his video recording as well, just so everyone's aware. And okay, so we'll go to the public session of the. Are there any questions from the members of the audience this evening? Sean?
Could I just ask how much is Parish Council's, how much money they've got invested, please, and what companies have they got invested in?
Invested just in general?
Yeah.
Invested in?
Yeah, in any companies. Have they got any money invested in any companies, any firms? How much money have they got invested in?
As far as I'm aware, I don't think we've got any money invested in companies, but what?
You have investment funds, Chair. I don't have the information to hand the exact figures, but I'm happy to receive an email, Sean, as always, to answer any questions you've got.
Yeah, I'll do that, because I remember when I was a councillor there was some money invested, but I could never find out really what it was invested in. It would just be...
Yeah, I'm
be
happy to
interesting,
share it.
thanks.
I haven't got exact figures here right now, but if
Cheers, thank you, Gemma.
I'm more than happy to answer that.
That's lovely, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Okay, well, I'll move to the main part of the meeting then. Thank you very much. So I've already mentioned item 1 about audio recording as part of Ackworth local government, and I'll move to item 2 then. Apologies then, please. To receive apologies for absence given in advance of the meeting.
So we have an apology from Councillor Marshall and one from Councillor Cook as recorded in the book.
Excellent. And then recording the book, do we all agree to those absences? Yeah. Thank you very much. Item 3, declarations of interest and dispensations. To receive any declarations of interest not already declared under the Council's Code of Conduct or a Members' Register of Disposable pecuniary interests on items on the agenda.
None to the office.
None. If there's none, there's none to consider. So that's 3.2 and none to grab. If anything does come up or where you think there might be a conflict of interest, please just bring it to our attention and we can deal with that at the time. Okay, so item 4, to receive available reports from, first of all, West Yorkshire Police.
So due to the meeting being brought forward for the submission of the precept, we've not had the police figures, so March will include the 2 reports.
Okay, thank you. District councillors district councillors.
No one asked for a report?
None received.
None received?
No, I wouldn't say if you got me down here, so I ain't got much. If you recall from last year, a petition went in for a crossing across from Orchard Drive. Because of a mix-up with the puffin come zebra crossing, it got buried under some paperwork, but I managed to find out what had gone wrong. Got in touch with Martin Barnes, who you all met, and he apologised. And as far as I know, it's supposed to be going this year, this financial year coming. So what I'm going to do is going to chase that one up, because like I said, the petition was put in, and we want to get that pushed. So I am not standing this year. So what I want to do, every single piece of work I've done, is to pass over to Gemma. So I'm going to try and arrange a date so I can go through everything what's outstanding, all the information, so we can, all that hard work is not lost.
Yeah.
Because that information is there to be done so we can get this village sorted. It is there. I did chase it up, and I did it out a bit with him because he did miss it now. But they did promise me they were going to start it this year. So we'll see if they keep to the word.
Keep to the word, yeah?
Yeah, well, I said keep to the word. Finances are tight, I'll be honest. I had a chat with a lot of councillors, and you can't push for a lot. If you want things done now within Wakefield, you've got to ask for little bits. So if you want crossings, let's say you got a zebra crossing, you wanted a buffer, you got down with to a zebra. That's how it works. They haven't got the finances. So what you have to do is push again to try and get things upgraded. If you want to puff in instead of that zebra now, push again. Because I went and chased up, it's easy to upgrade it, because I talked to the engineers at the time, because the electrics are all in there, it's all pre-built in, so don't let them mess you about. Do your own work on it. Again, we're across to the other crossing, we didn't ask for a zebra crossing or a puffing crossing, it was one of them little islands. So
Yeah.
the residents weren't greedy, they just wanted to go so far because they're old and can't get. So if they give you something better, take it. But in the meantime, I will work with you before I leave and get all that information and all the other jobs, because there's a lot outstanding. They haven't finished down today. That's still to be done. So I've still got the case numbers, so I'll pass everything to them. And that's me done.
Excellent, thank you very much.
I'm off.
You-
I've got to meet someone.
Oh,
Right then, thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
If I can make an arrangement sometime, if you send me a mail where we can meet up, we'll have a chat and I'll go through it all.
Thank you.
Super.
And if you
Thank very
want
much.
to come along, I can give you all the information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try and attend. Obviously,
Yeah, I can do
work
everything
full time
now.
like yourself.
All right.
So, yeah.
Okay then, right. Cheers.
All right.
Right. Ta-ra.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Okay. We've got download. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a down, yeah.
4.3. Ackworth Parish Council representatives on outside bodies. Normally, councillor Sarah.
Well, there hasn't been anything since the last meeting.
Yeah.
But for me, anyway.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? No. Okay. Thank you very much. Item 5, to approve the minutes of the Parish Council meeting held on the 15th of January 2024 as a true and correct record. Any comments? I'll take comments first. Any comments or questions? No? Okay.
I just got a question, because obviously I wasn't there on the January meeting. It says under 11.1 that I was elected chair of that committee, pending my acceptance.
Yeah.
So
It was sort of like pending
Yeah.
whether you'd be happy to
that's
do it or
fine.
not.
I'm just understand that.
Oh, right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can I take a proposal then, please, for Sarah proposing, second, Lynn? And I'll take a vote then, please. Those in favour? Not quite everyone.
Amazing. Sorry.
No.
No.
Of course we've got two items that way.
Yeah.
Got libraries sorted out.
Before we move on to the next one, just have we heard anything from Jenkins? I know it was the previous meeting, but I didn't.
So you haven't heard anything. They've had a family situation that's caused a little bit delay.
Oh, right.
So yeah,
Yeah,
but they're on with it, but yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, well, just
Yeah.
just to check.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so committee and subcommittee meetings. Under 6.1, just before I go to F&GP, me and Sue were on the same lines, and Sue's listed as well. I'm going to ask that the full council takes the motion at 10.2 and brings that forward to be considered alongside the... sorry, yes. So first of all, I'll just tackle 10.2 because I think we're definitely some agreement over that one. So 10.2 to be moved forward to be considered with the F&GP minutes. So just get a show of hands that we're all happy to do that. Yeah, that's everyone. And also, I'd like to request that you bring both 10.1, so both proposals. So 10.1 is the delay of the hiring of the office junior, which falls part of the budget as well. I think I'm happy to do that as well, as chair. So can I have a show of hands in favour of doing that? Okay. So that leaves just 10.3 at the end of the meeting, yeah. Okay. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll receive the minutes of the F&GP committee meeting held on the 22nd of January 2024. Approve the recommendations within them with the exception of the actual budget. I want to take that separately. Amen?
So that's with the exception of point 6 and 7 on the F&GP minutes. So consider draft budget proposals.
Yes.
So, okay, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll take those two separately. So items 6 and 7 on the F&GP minutes will be taken separately and will coincide with 10.1 and 10.2 as well. Is that clear to everyone? Okay. So first of all, any comments on the minutes in general? Because I'll tackle that then first. No? Can I have a proposal for the minutes in general? That's what was discussed at the meeting and it's an accurate record. Yes, Elaine's proposing. Can I have a seconder for that then, please? Sarah seconding. So just on accepting the minutes and approving the recommendations within them, but not 6 and 7. Can I have a show of hands in favour of that, please? Excellent, full house. Thank you very much. Okay, so first of all I'm going to take item 6 then of the F&GP. I'm going to take item 6 of the F&GP, which is the draft budget proposal that's been recommended from the F&GP committee. Can I take comments and questions?
So what's this that's just coming in today?
It's just because I've summarised.
Oh, it's from you?
Yes.
Oh, right,
So,
okay.
and I
Thank
can
you.
have a chance to do anything.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry,
Just so I can
yeah.
read all the comments.
Yeah. Okay, so no, we've both got one. Has everyone got one? Yeah. Yeah, thanks. So, any questions or comments then? So, this is, I'm taking item 6 of the F&GP. This is the budget proposal, and with that, I'll be taking the motion by Councillor Sherritt on the hiring of the office junior as part of that budget proposal, as that's part of that budget. So,
Yeah, can I just sort of make a comment on the budget process, is that all right?
yeah, that's fine.
I mean, the budget process, it's hours and hours of time went into actually, going through the budget, sort of penny by penny really, and line by line, to come out with a budget that, excuse me, we felt, well, we were confident would get us through the coming year. It does include in this budget a number of one-off spends, project spends really, that would come from reserves, because our reserves are very high, too high really, from the point of auditors. And it certainly has been the intention of the previous council, I think it's been the thing with this one as well in the past year, that we do need to have a plan to use some of that reserves, those reserves. And so it was felt by the committee when it was discussed that it was perfectly reasonable excuse me, to spend reserves on project funds, not on costs, not on salaries, and not on ongoing costs, but on specific one-off project costs, which is why it is how it is. And also, yes, it includes the bit at the bottom, the proposal recommendation to increase the precept request by 1.5%, to earmark a contribution of income to the proposed budget from general reserves to cover any budget variance in 24-25, and lastly, to bring back to the committee for further review sort of the general reserve situation, so that we do have a thorough look at that in the future. So that was the basis of the budget proposal that went to the F&GP and that was discussed in some considerable detail and was approved by the F&GP. But prior to that, a very lot of work had been done on the detail of the budget to make sure that it was absolutely up to date, that the projections and the forecast, now I was getting the wrong way round, were as accurate as they can be, so that we know where we stand.
Yeah, thank you. And again, I'll just say thank you to Gemma for all the hard work. I know that budgets are not the easiest thing to get together and everything, and thank you to the F&GP for all the work that's been done, and there was a detailed discussion definitely and lots of things put into the pot, as it were. Just to add to Sarah's comment, I will just say that the budget does cover everything that the council's sort of like previously committed to put in as well. So that is what's been budgeted for, and obviously that's what's presented as well. So just wanted to add that. Anyone else? Yeah. Thank you.
Councillor Balfe has just said that we do have probably too much in reserve. How much do we have in reserve?
Yeah, please.
So it's been projected that by 31st of March, when the end of this financial year is up, there'd be 294 in general reserves alone. So that excludes some, and it excludes anything else that's already been earmarked.
Thank you.
Just to note that as well, best practice is that we keep between 3 to 12 months within general reserves, so obviously it would be proposed that we would earmark all of that.
Okay. Can I just mention, because obviously one of the things I'd like discussed as part of item 6 in the F&GP, it's also Susie's motion. So am I okay to bring them in, Susie, on the motion 10.1 about the hiring of the office junior to delay that, because obviously that's part of like the budget, and I know that you put a motion on that. Am I okay just to bring you in, just to maybe comment on that?
Yes,
That's okay.
I would completely agree about budgeting. It's a very tricky thing to do. But, obviously, if you're preparing a set of accounts, you've got all the figures there, but with a budget, you are trying to be conservative and both on the income front and then as robust as you can on the expense front, so that you don't end up in a very sticky position at the end. But I feel like it is a large amount that's proposed to draw from general reserves to cover a deficit, and I've put that on the first sheet that I gave you. Well, the amount is known anyway at 35k, and when I looked at the staffing with sort of information that was in, personnel subcommittee minutes were received into F&GP committee, and on October 30th the F&GP committee received personnel committee minutes which stated that in principle a proposal was approved in line with the 2024 budget review for office and team expansion. There is no detail as to a temporary project manager 2-year contract being made permanent. There's no detail as to an office junior being employed. It's very vague. But then those items have both been passed by the full parish council without, I feel, councillors being aware that these arrangements have been made, as the personnel subcommittee minutes are not given to the full council, and they don't fully describe the intentions of that committee in any case. So both of these items are included in the 24-25 budget without prior transparency. Now, salaries include a permanent contract for projects manager, and that takes up 79% of our current parish precept, which is very high compared to, say, Upton Council. I appreciate that they don't have a cemetery like we do, so that obviously accounts for some of it. Now, if the council employ an office junior, salaries will commit 84% of the current parish precept, which is one of the reasons why I'm suggesting we raise it further than was initially suggested. The suggested increase of 1.5% in the precept will not also cover the salary increase of the budgeted 3% for each year. That's this current year that we're in and next year. And if we take on an office junior, salary and wages costs are proposed to take up nearly 7/8 of our annual precept without sufficient other income, and I know we're being conservative, to cover the remainder of our expenses. So the budget review 2024 seems to show clearly that there aren't adequate funds for employment of a further staff member without using reserves, which it would seem to be very heavily committed elsewhere to capital projects. I'll mention a bit more about that